To have at it at the top of the field. 35 laps for the late models. Jennison bringing them down at a pretty good clip. They hit the box, up on the throttle. The 35-lap late model main event is underway.
Mark Jennison, Charlie Rose power off of turn 2 and down the backstretch, door to door. They battle for the lead. Jerry DeGasperi Jr. sitting in third at the flag stand that time by. Put the 7 atop the leaderboard on lap 1.
Charlie Rose edges out ahead of Jennison down the back straightaway by 3/4, making a full car length down into 3 and 4. Jennison battling back down low as they come across the stripe. DeGasperi, Piver, and Belcher round out the top 5.
Charlie Rose staying to the high side, trying to clear the 22 of Jennison, this time by now through 3 and off of 4. Jennison battles back, and it is Jennison that time by at the stripe, edging out Rose. Now he edges ahead down the backstretch as Rose ducks in behind the 22.
Rose settles into the number 2 spot as they come off of 4, takes a peek to the inside. Jennison holds him off as they hit turn number 1, a little deeper in the pack. Trouble off of turn number 3.
We'll get ready to go back to action with Charlie Rose and Mark Jennison at the front of the field.
3 laps in out of the 35. Jennison pulling off. A problem on the 22. A lazy green shown to the field as things happen deep in the field. But with the 22, all of a sudden, he tried to pull out of line.
And somehow
was able to make it back out of the pit area. Field is set, ready to go off of turn number 4. Jennison, Rose, wind it up off the corner. Green flag unfurls, and we're back underway.
Through 1 and 2, Charlie Rose trying to crank up that outside groove. Battle for the lead, trying to get by Mark Jennison on the high side. Can't shut the door on him just that time by, but takes over the lead as we complete lap 4.
Throws it in hard and deep down in the corner and shuts the door down into 3 as they race side by side from 6th on back. Scully taking a look down to the inside of Belcher off of turn number 4. That's the battle for 5th on the board.
Scully trying to clear the rookie. Right behind him is Vinny Ranagato. Some scuffling going on further back in the pack. They all rein it in, and Charlie Rose takes over the lead. Jerry DeGasperi going to work on the 22.
Scully up inside the top 5. Ranagato's not going to let him have an easy time. Takes a look down to the inside, and look who's coming up behind him. The 1 of Lynham working that bottom groove as they come off of turn number 4. Ranagato is into 5th, down into 1.
Vinny Ranagato fast each and every week, has had podium finishes now up inside the top 5, but they got some work to do to rein in the leaders with Charlie Rose, Mark Jennison, Jerry DeGasperi, and John Piver running 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nose to tail down the back straightaway. Charlie Rose sets the pace into 3. Jennison sits in the number 2 spot. The 71 of DeGasperi having a great run 3rd. And how about Piver, the A&A Jewelers machine, sitting in the number 4 spot as they come down off of turn number 2. He is right there with the top 3. They're still double wide deep in the pack as the 81 of Belcher is backsliding.
Trouble for Lambert over in turn 2. He goes around. Will be Lambert.
Check them out in Swansea or online at columbusenergies.com.
Tim Boulder looks them over as they hit the starter's box. Green flag flies. Charlie Rose and Mark Jennison up at the front of the pack.
Jennison trying to hang on and get back to the top of the leaderboard as he races side by side with Rose, getting more comfortable in that outside lane. Jerry D right there behind as they hit the stripe. Here comes Kuhn inside the top 4.
Ryan Kuhn trying to work his way up inside as well, inside the top 5. Vinny Ranagato trying to hang up on the high side. Jerry D battling Mark Jennison for 2nd.
Trouble down off of turn 4. The 10 of Chad Baxter goes around, trying to get that car refired. We're right back under yellow.
Pass goes Chad Baxter for top 5.
Caution lights out. The Bristol Toyota Pace Truck pulls down to the infield as we are ready to go. Rose, Jennison jump up on the throttle in a drag race down into turn number 1. Neither one giving an inch as they roll off at 2, wheel to wheel at the top of the field.
Great restart for Jennison. Here comes Rose battling back underneath as Rose takes the lead. Jerry DeGasperi tries to follow him through the hole down below, but Jennison not going nowhere, battling back on the high side.
Right behind them, Kuhn and Ranagato having at it for 4th and 5th off of turn number 4. Scully trying to hold on, 3 wide, Lilly down on the inside, down into 1.
3 wide they stay going through turn 2 and down the backstretch. Hudson gets out of it. As Scully slides up, it goes back to 3 wide. As jumping in the mix was Dan Johnson.
Johnson and Lynham slide by down on the inside, pick up a pair of spots as they try to work their way up towards the top of the leaderboard.
Tom Scully slipped up a little bit, and the rest moved all the way through. On the track now is for second, as Jerry D tries to hold off Mark Jennison with Vinny Renegado all over his rear bumper.
Renegado trying to find a way by, sneaking a peek down to the inside, but Jerry is continuing to work the JFR Racing machine tight down on the inside lane. That gives it Jennison a little bit more room up on the outside, keeping him right with that black number 71. Trouble down the back straightaway.
And Mark Hudson also there. Don't know.
RacingJunk.com, online classifieds, built to go fast. Check them out today at RacingJunk.com.
Field is set, looking for the green with a dozen laps remaining off of turn number 4. Rose and DeGasperi leading the charge down into turn number 1. Jerry D trying to find himself in over Total Parks victory lane. Has to get by Charlie Rose first down into 3.
Battling on the high side is Jerry D, the 7-time late model champion, with Charlie Rose down underneath. They race around the 3rd mile, door to door for that whole lap as Jerry D. Jennison has to get out of it a little bit there as they head into 3 with 10 laps remaining.
10 laps to go, and Rose has a hard challenge as they slide up the racetrack. Jennison unable to squeeze in down to the inside. DeGasperi falls back just about a half a car length into 3 and 4 with Jennison right there. Kuhn is up to 4th. Here comes Lynham. Trouble down in turn number 4 to a halt. Remaining in this one, Jennison. And a Renegado, row number 2. Does Jerry have what it takes up on the outside? We'll see what he's got as a green flag unfolds. Rose leads it down into 1.
10-lap shootout. Look at Mark Jennison down underneath. Challenge for the lead, gets out of it as they get out of turn 2. Jerry D trying to hang on the top side as Charlie Rose continues to lead your race.
Jennison hanging on to 3rd with a lot of pressure. He's got the 17 of Renegado up on the outside, the 72 of Kuhn down low. 8 laps to go as they come off of turn number 4. Jerry D winding up that outside lane, hot and heavy, working his way, trying to get to the front.
Smooth through 3 and 2, sliding back just a little bit was Renegado that time as Jennison had to get out of it as well. Charlie Rose blocking for Jennison and has Jerry D up on the high side challenging for the lead.
Top 7 cars stacked up double wide as they head down the back straightaway. Jerry D on the outside. On the inside, Charlie Rose. They come off of 4. Rose gets a little loose. Jerry D's got the lead in lap number 29.
DeGasperi goes ahead. Now they stack up behind him. Trouble for Jennison as he flies back through the
Trouble down into turn number 1. 2 cars get together. Chase Belcher, Chad Baxter all get together. And with 6 laps remaining, it'll be DeGasperi in the Tomasi Law Associates Power 5. DeGasperi and Rose to bring the field down. Looking for the green. Up on the throttle they come. DeGasperi jumps out into turn number 1 with a car length advantage already.
Great restart for the 7-time champion as he looks to close out this win. He's got to get off turn 4 clean, does so ahead of Charlie Rose. Look at Ryan Kuhn peek underneath the 22 of Jennison as they ride the berm, but it's Jerry D at the front of the class.
4 laps remaining. This time trouble down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. The 4 of Johnson got all sorts of crust up, was able to save it by using the 14 of Lovelace as a berm. Good save there. Great racing deep in the field, but this time by 3 more circuits around.
3 laps remaining for the 7-time champion Jerry Barry Jr. Charlie Rose sitting in second. Ryan Kuhn challenging Genesis. That's the battle for 3rd.
Jennison up on the outside. Kuhn down low as the twin sticks are up in the air. Battle is for 2nd. Side by side down into turns 1 and 2. Rose trying to hang on to the number 2 spot. And as they come off of 4, the white flag is high in the air.
Final lap for Jerry DeGasperi, looking for his first win of 2018. Mark Jennison slides back up on the high side. Charlie Rose with all sorts of trouble there as Jennison challenges for 2nd as the checkered flag flies.
Jerry D picks up the win. Rose, Jennison, Kuhn, and a Renegado are your top